Hello, hello. Good morning, good
Welcome,
afternoon,
welcome.
good evening. Welcome back to Her Power Live. We're so happy that you're here with us today. We have Lily, Lily Boo McGovern, and myself, Collie Rose, the Warrior Mermaid Coach. And we have Lisa joining us this morning. Yay, we're very excited for that. Woohoo! We have an exciting little taster session to do with you this morning. Lily is going to be leading us in visualizing our child self, our inner essence, our core essential, who we truly are, and what never changes within us. So it's really, really a beautiful visualization. Agnes and Karen are not here with us this morning. Both of them are traveling. It's summertime, so we're giving them a break to go do their travels and visit their families and all of those exciting things. But Lily and I are here. Woohoo! We're excited about it. So, Lily, shall I get us started with some PQ reps?
Yes, yes.
Before we introduce that term, I'm just going to say really quick, Lily and I are both positive intelligence coaches, and PQ reps is something that we do in our positive intelligence coaching program. It's a sensory style meditation, just to ground us, center us, and bring us more into our presence, into our body, into our current in this moment experience. Do you want to add anything to that, Lily?
No, I just want to say, yeah, let's just create the space, just like we would if you were coming on retreat with us. Because as we come together, you are probably doing something else. Your mind is going a million miles an hour, and you've got things to take care of. But we really want this to be your time, your space. And that's what a retreat does for us. It gives us time and space to really go within, settle down, remember who we are, and remember what truly matters. And so, doing an exercise like the one that Kelly's going to share with us this morning is one way that you can support yourself as you're going through your day, anywhere, anytime, to just ground, center, remember who you are, and recharge. And that's also what the next exercise is about, too. So, we hope you'll enjoy today's exercises, a little taste of what you're going to get when you come with us to Croatia and recharge your life there.
Thank you. Thank you, Lily. Yes, thank you for tying it back to the retreat. So important. And yes, I mean, it's all about getting to know ourselves better. And to get to know ourselves better, we have to hear ourselves. So that's why we need to be present. Yeah. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm just going to ask you to close your eyes and just settle yourself into your seat wherever you're at. Put your feet on the floor, straighten your spine. And just bring your attention first to your breath. Notice your inhale, notice your exhale. Notice your seat on your chair. Notice how your body is touching the seat, connecting to it. Notice how the seat is supporting you. Bring your attention down to your feet and notice your feet in contact with the floor. Wiggle your toes. Just notice that sensation. Now bring two fingertips together, your thumb and your index finger, or whichever two fingers you like. Gently rub those two fingers together, noticing that sensation. noticing the texture, the temperature. Now bring your two hands together, palm touching palm, fingertips touching fingertips. Gently begin to notice the feeling of the fingertips touching each other. Swirl them against each other. Begin to trace your fingers of one hand down the fingers of the other, noticing all the sensations. Notice your palm. Just delicately running your fingertips over all the different parts of your palm. Noticing ridges and valleys and lines. And now bring your attention to what you're hearing. And notice the farthest away thing that you can hear. Now notice the sound of your own breathing. Notice your chest expanding with each inhale and contracting with each exhale. Visualize your heart filling with love. Each breath drawing more love into your heart space. Allowing that love to expand throughout your chest. Throughout your body, all the way down to your toes. Now, keeping your eyes closed, I'm going to turn it over to Lili to begin leading us in the visualization of our child.
So go with me right now in your mind's eye to the beach. Watch the kids on the sand building some sand castles, running up to the edge of the water, running back, playing with the tides. Then maybe sitting down, plopping down right in the water and staring a seagull right in the eye, allowing allowing their feet to be washed by the moving tide and then getting delighted, sinking their toes in the sand. So oftentimes we go through our day beating ourselves up over something that we didn't do right or something we didn't get finished. And in this time, in this space, we get to recharge with empathy, empathy for ourselves, empathy for others. So picture yourself as a child. See yourself, imagine yourself in a scene where you are very happy. It could have been out on the beach. Maybe it was a playground. Just notice what you're noticing. Picture yourself as a child radiating with your beautiful, original, true spirit. Notice your hair, the expression of your eyes, and the expression on your face. Imagine how you moved or held your body. Notice how worthy this being is of unconditional love. Unconditional love means not having to earn it or work for it, because the essence of this being is beautiful and unchanging, completely worthy of love. Feel that love for this inner child, for yourself. Now bring that love to yourself as an adult today. And just think about something you're struggling with. What's the most loving and compassionate thing you can say to yourself in this situation? Perhaps it's an acknowledgement of how hard you're working. Maybe it's reassurance that you're doing a good job. You're exactly where you need to be. Maybe it's compassion. Maybe you need that little hug or the pat on your back or whatever else comes to your heart. Now, with your heart more open, let's bring this loving energy toward somebody else in your life, somebody else that may cause you consternation or trigger you. We all have people in our lives that are mirrors of our shadow side, mirrors of the aspects that we try to suppress. So if you were to step into this other person's shoes and access empathy for them, what might you discover there? Picture that person as a 5-year-old radiating with their beautiful, original, true spirit. Notice their hair, the expression of their eyes, the expression on their face. and how they moved or held their bodies. Notice if you're feeling a little more warmth and caring for them as you witness more of their sage, more of their beautiful, true, eternal essence. Now picture them as an adult in this situation we were discussing in your mind. Put yourself in their shoes and notice how they might be feeling in this situation. What are their needs? What are their fears? What might be their deeper longing and aspiration? And now I invite you to become aware again of your breathing, taking a couple of deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, like you're blowing out the candles on a cake. Another one of those breaths in through your nose, blowing out through your mouth. Find your feet, wiggle your toes, find your seat. And when you're ready, you can flutter open your eyes. And I just love to hear from either one of you about what you were able to experience during that visualization. Who wants to share?
Were you able to see me at all? Because I just realized my screen was black because somehow I could, the Zoom wasn't there, but I could hear you, everything. Anyway, if I may share, that was beautiful and tactile. Thank you, Callie Rose, for bringing that awareness into my body. Um, the one thing that was bugging me was a mosquito, and it kept coming back. So that was very tactile. Something in there, that mosquito message. But
Definitely in your present.
Lily, what was that?
Definitely in your present moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And Lily, with the going back to the inner child, it took me back to a beach scene of when I was a young girl. I was probably 5 or 6, and I think I had a little short crop here, and I had a gap in my teeth because I'd lost some teeth. Yeah, and freckles on my nose, and I was with my cousins, and it it was a beach in New Zealand called Castle Point. It's on the eastern eastern side, closer to Wellington. Anyway, there's an amazing lighthouse there, but that memory took me back there and playing along the beach, and there were seagulls, and we had buckets and sands and things like that. In fact, there was actually a rip in the tide, and if it wasn't for my cousin, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you today. But um, what actually came up in that moment was that, as a child, there's so much joy and awe and everything that you look around, and you're just totally present in the moment. And it's, through our environment, our upbringing, everything, we lose touch with those moments. And also knowing that we are enough, we are worthy of so much more. And I mean, nature shows us that abundance is all around us, right? And when you said, see what's coming up for you and where that maybe relates to a counterpart, um, and maybe the shadow aspect of that. Um, so I'm just sitting opposite my partner right now, my husband, and we had a little conversation around something this morning. I said, what what if in my struggles, my struggles have been really like bringing in like monetary, financial prosperity, and it's been something I've been working on for the longest time. And I know everything is possible. And in my counterpart here, when I said to him on my way back, like, would you like to do like a native medicine making workshop? His immediate response was, how much does it cost? It wasn't like, oh yeah, that's really interesting and like, what a great idea. So really the theme of it was like, we are enough. We are worthy. We are worthy of receiving all of that goodness, all of that abundance. Yeah. So, and then I could see that, where that came from in him. So, yeah, compassion and kindness, but then like moving forward through that is something, yeah, that can be challenging sometimes.
Well, it sounds like you were able to get in touch with your beautiful, eternal, joyful essence that's always there. And you brought up how worthy she is. She's not broken. So much energy, so much joy, and then bringing that joyful spirit to your husband always, and then having him immediately kind of like shut down, right? Shut down that it's like, oh, well, we gotta that we forget about that, forget about the enthusiasm, like we have rules or we have limitations or we have conditions on how we allow ourselves to enjoy our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering, when you saw him, were you able to picture his beautiful 5-year-old self?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Oh yeah.
what did you notice about his beautiful 5-year-old self?
I mean, it's just that exuberance, that like awe, like joy space. But then, I know where that would have been shut down. I know how that was. Yeah, it's just like, so I feel it. I know it. I see it. It's like getting the other one to actually like see that too and do the work.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I also heard you say like you've been working on this money thing for a long time.
Yeah.
And then to have that reaction, like we're always getting a reflection from our environment about where we're at, right? Reflecting back to us what's really going on deep down inside of our hearts. So it's just him really reflecting where you're at, kind of, because you're working on that, right? You're focused on that.
But I'm not focused on the negative. I'm focused on the positive side of things. I
Right.
am.
And yeah, I'm just saying
Yeah.
you're focused on the money conversation. So it doesn't matter which part of that conversation I'm hearing, it's just that you're focused on it. So it's getting reflected back to you to be able to
All
be
right.
talked about and kind of looked at. And what do I need to do? How do I need to shift to be able to make this into the positive, right? So how
Yeah,
do
and I'm
I need, go ahead.
shifting all the time, and always like coming back to that, to the heart, and like in the creative space. Go, oh, I can do something. This is what I can do. This is what I can do. Okay, I've got these ideas. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Oh yeah, but what about that? No, this is not me. But it's just like it's like yeah. I've got ideas and I'm moving forward with them.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
So thank you. Thank you for sharing all that. Thank you for playing with me. I'm just asking questions to try to get deeper and see
cool.
what truly is going on here. Because usually it's never about the money. If I just did an exercise with a coach and it's like 50 ways to find the money, and
Yeah.
what would you have to do if you're, God forbid, if somebody got sick in your family and you had to come up with the money for an operation, right? Would you find the money? Most of us would be able to find the money somehow to get that taken
Somehow.
care of. So usually there is some rules, a lot of rules about money. That's like a huge issue in our lives, right? So and it all ties back for me to that self-worth, worthiness, self-love. How much are you willing to invest in yourself to be able to have the life that you want? And when we're talking about going away on a trip like that, right, that's an investment that we have to consider. Like, oh, do I invest in myself? How do I allow myself to enjoy my life? Am I worth it? Am I worth going on this trip? Is it worth talking to my husband, having a conversation about, oh, this really is important to me? So yeah, it's money's a huge thing, and it's interesting that that's what came up as you were talking about your inner child and his inner child. So just something to be aware of and look at, and I'm working on it all the time too. And but the more I've invested in myself, the more I've been able to transform my life and feel into my power and understand that it's not about the money for me. It's about the conversation with what am I worthy enough to say, oh, I want to do this thing, and I know it may hurt, like we may gotta pay for it, so, in a whole bunch of different ways, and it's so important to me. And when I've had that conversation with my husband, every single time he comes back and he says, do it, do it. If you really feel like you need to do this thing for your life, then I support you because I love you. And so it's really deepened our relationship having these talks about my big investments in my coaching career and in my self-coaching and receiving coaching and going on trips and going on retreats and getting supported by other women, because getting into rooms with women like Agnes and Karen and Kelly and myself, that this is our work. We do this every day. We talk about this stuff all the time about how can we really move through the world free and liberated and feeling powerful in our skin and feeling comfortable with who we are. And so that's the work that gets done in a retreat, because you allow yourself to step away from everything that's going on in your life and really remember that beautiful essence of exploring. Like around every corner there's a new sight, and there's a new sound, there's a new smell, there's a new activity, and then you have these women who are holding you and guiding you in this container to be able to allow you to figure out, oh, this is who I am, oh, this is what I want. And so this is what we're talking about. Transformation happens automatically when you step out of your comfort zone, interrupt your patterns, and you give yourself some space. So really, it's like, who do I want to spend time with? Where am I going to get that nurturing? Where am I going to get that modeling and inspiration from? So thanks for playing with me today, Lisa.
Really, it's been a lot of fun actually playing with you and Kali and whoever else is here. Fantastic. No, I really, really loved it. And I love connecting with you beautiful women too, And so I miss that at times. Yeah, it's been a busy time actually. I've had like full on time with 3 little grand boys, and they're not here right now. They've gone with their mum, and then taking care of my son who had broke his leg, so he couldn't really manage them. But yeah, Dwayne has definitely been helping out there where he can. But I tell you what, like I never realized how much energy I had as a 30-something mom. Like I'm like, whoa!
Yes, we all have busy, full lives, and that's why it's so
Yeah.
important to take some time out and focus completely in on who you are and what you have to offer. So thank you for sharing all that, Lisa. Can I ask Kelly? We have a couple more minutes. We're going to go a little bit longer today just because it takes time for insights to come out and bubble forth, and it takes time to share stories and have some fun together. So Kelly, what came up for you during that visualization?
There's so much similarity, honestly, to what Lisa was sharing. Yeah, I mean, the childhood experience for me, I don't really focus in on one particular scene I've noticed, but it's like multiple will kind of pop up, but there's sort of this common thread of the just joy of being when you're a child. You are so present as a child and just excited about the little things, like almost every time I visualize myself as a child, I'm outdoors, and experiencing the world and just being in awe of the world. Like one of the moments that came up for me is I remember being on this camping trip, and we went on a hike with this group of people, and there was this giant, I mean giant, like huge boulder, like a mountain-sized boulder. And we climbed up to the top, and then I wanted to slide down it as a child. And just, I remember it being so much fun. And then I had on like little corduroy pants, and it tore the corduroy on the back on the back side of my pants, so I had air conditioning after that. but, but it was just so fun in the moment, and I remember being that kid who wanted to roll around in the dirt and, just experience the feel of the dirt and, picking up every little bit of nature that you came across, a shell, a special rock, a pine cone, a stick, just everything just capturing your attention. And then like taking it to, I also was seeing my spouse in this as a frictionary counterpart, for sure they are, and like you say, they're absolutely a mirror of what goes on in our own minds. And also, there's this, financial friction between my husband and I. And yes, I absolutely can see how it's a reflection of my own fears. And, yeah, shows it to me very clearly, and I get frustrated with him, but heck, I'm frustrated with that part of myself. So I mean, in reality, there's that part of me who wants security. And I think that's what it's about for my husband too, is there's that desire to protect the family and to make sure we're taken care of, and that we have enough for when we're 90 and all that good stuff, right? Yeah, so I mean, there was such a common theme that was coming up. And same thing, I could imagine my husband as a child being very carefree and exuberant and silly and silly, right? Like that's the thing about little kids, like they're not afraid to just be themselves in all the glory of it, right? And also how that somewhere along the way we take on these adult responsibilities of, we have to be like this, we have to do this, we have to take care of this. And sometimes uh what's true for us gets lost in the course of that. And it's like you say, it's not like money can't be found. It's out there. Like if somebody was dying, yes, we would find the money is there, right? And at the same time, I don't have always that same level of commitment to myself. And I was visualizing my inner child bringing me these little seashells and sticks and pine cones and stuff. And I was thinking about, that's the same thing about how life is, that we're gathering information, we're gathering experiences, we're gathering all of that it is to be in this body on this planet at this moment in time. And that's what money should be about for us, is gathering those experiences, because in the end, that's all we have in this life, right?
Absolutely, because things come and go and things break, and like I I said a long time ago I'm going to stop collecting things because I started collecting antiques or whatever, and I was like, oh, I don't want antiques. I want experiences. I want friends. This is this is why I'm working, is to create a tribe of like-minded women that I can go play with and have fun. And so this is for me, this is the journey, is like, yeah, how can we tap into and use our funds to really have some fun and and explore and have experiences, because nobody can ever take away your experiences that you'll have with growing in your personal development, your spiritual empowerment, and just having fun and enjoying your life. So I love everything you said. I love listening to other people sharing their stories and talking about their childhoods. And and what came up for me, Kelly, as you say, you're picking up everything. In Alaska, when I first moved there, we went on a hike one day, and of course it's all new territory. And I'm like, I found these like oval these oval brown like nuts or seeds or something like that, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a whole bunch of them, look like a little nest of them. And I'm like, so I stuck a whole handful in my pocket. I'm like, I don't know what these are, but they're cool. My husband's like, I don't know what those are. But I got home and it turns out they were moose poop. You know,
Well,
the
you can
smelling, degrading.
chocolate moose poop. You can roll
Yeah,
in chocolate.
but it's so funny because in Alaska they take that moose poop and they make earrings out of it. They cover it with gold, and so
Oh,
you know,
So it
I
is the
was kind
same.
of onto something, but it was just like I love exploring. I love picking up and turning over rocks, and I think we all have that in ourselves. Um, that love of discovery, that love of exploration. So that's what we're hoping to ignite in you. And if you're feeling like you're dying inside every day because you're not giving yourself enough love, because you're not investing in yourself or your happiness, please consider coming along with us to Croatia, where you can open up your life and open up the possibilities.
Discovering new
Thank you.
things within ourselves as well. Yeah.
So thank you so much for spending time with us,
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
we'll see you next week for another one of something that like this.
We
Sounds
may get back to our conversation from last week.
Oh
We
yeah.
we're all digging into the journey and our experience of how each of us have had vision come into our lives, and how what we've done with it, and how that process has felt like and been like for us. So we would love to talk more about that. We were having a wonderfully enthusiastic conversation, and so yes, to be continued. So maybe next week.
okay. Sounds amazing.
Yeah,
I
come.
love deep conversations.
And you can
So
definitely check out the first half of it. It's in the guides in the group on Facebook. So if you actually click
okay.
into the group, you can see the tabs at the top, and you can see the different options. Look for guides. All of the old or previous HerPower Live events are in there. So if you missed anything, you can check it out.
Yes,
Okay,
and
thank
remember,
you.
your history is not your destiny, and every
Mm,
moment is a new moment to make a new choice, a new
yeah,
decision.
Yes.
thank
Until
you.
we meet again, go
Appreciate
forth
it.
and blossom, lovelies.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Love you.